morning, everyone. Welcome back. As always, the trend continues for 16 months now, basically going back to when I began pre-market prep. It was just too much to go over, too much to talk about. Right off the bat, drop your tickers in chat. Nicole will help me out. Everyone say thanks to Nicole for helping me out. I wouldn't be able to do this without her. And so drop those tickers, drop those questions in chat, and she'll shoot them over to me. That being said, my number one dip and rip as of now is BLIN. We didn't talk about this one Friday morning. I admit, this was kind of grinding up, during pre-market prep. Well, actually right when I ended. Yeah, so there's my lame excuse. We did not go over BLIN, during pre-market prep on Friday. But it started perking up basically, right at 8:45. So soon as I ended, BLIN perked up. I mean, listen, this is like when you look at the float, you look at the volume on Friday. What was the volume on the day? 140 million, 150 million shares traded. This is exactly that number one, afternoon pattern. I beg, if you're that new trader, and get the ebook, okay? Again, the ebook goes over and over and over that VWAP hold, high a day break on a low float stock with ridiculous volume. And it had news at the end of the day. And BLIN held up for several days. So again, once this broke, that high a day spiked from 8 all the way up to 1050, gapped up this morning. Now it's a morning dip and rip. And then keep in mind, what is every sketchy morning dip and rip? If you choose to avoid trading in the morning, which I have no problem with that, I actually recommend that if you're new, every single one of them becomes an afternoon VWAP hold. So if you're basically what you're looking for, if you don't like trading early in the day, it's too scary, you keep getting stopped out. Hey, listen, those are all valid points. That's why you hear me talk about this 9:45 rule, the 2 p.m. rule nonstop all day long, okay? That being said, look for a repeat of Friday's action into this afternoon. So, and BLIN, number one dip and rip on HODS. And also, if you avoid early, it becomes an afternoon VWAP hold, which is, that's the beauty. That's 2 of the 5 favorite patterns, okay? Which is 2 of the top 5 favorite long patterns. Masuro asks about AMD. Kind of a boring stock, but I love all the semiconductor stuff. Ooh, nice breakout. Nice multi-month breakout. If you're not in AMD, I would probably, set your alerts at 52s. Listen, semiconductor stock, again, kind of. Now, when I say boring, I know that sounds bad, and I always feel like I have to, explain. Boring's not bad. Okay, keep in mind when I say boring stock, it's not. It's not a knock. If you're part-time, okay, if you've got a CUEN, I'm gonna move on. If you got a job, you can't watch these sketchy low floaters all day long. Boring's good. So boring, breakout, semiconductor stock, great low risk swing idea. So I got to take it. Nobody's asking about CUEN, but I got to take a look because CUEN. What is CUEN? Squeezer from last week. Hung around. Didn't do it on Friday, though it tried. CUEN tried on Friday and didn't do it. Woo, man, I like this. 6 million float, not great volume. That's the power of the high day list, okay? And listen, StocksToTrade, I don't know if I talk about this that much. Okay, let me move the can. Okay, so BLDP, Nikola. So if I had to do like a heat map of like what I stare at all day long, it's that high day list. Now listen, I'd say get StocksToTrade. We have a configurable, great high a day list. I mean, I think other scanners have it. I don't know. Ultimately, listen, and I'm not here to do an ad. I don't know how you day trade without a high day list. Seriously. So if you're curious what I mean, get the trial, check it out. But if you took away a new high a day scanner from me, I don't know. I would probably only swing trade. Seriously. I'd be like, I can't day trade without a high day list. I'm like, I'll swing trade real stocks only. So that being said, OCGN asks, new era music. Nothing dies. Not the great volume. Gapped up Friday night. Afternoon VWAP hold. Nothing dies. Afternoon VWAP holds. No volume. No volume yet. MRIN is crazy. Listen. For me, I get it. You guys are looking at this stock go from $1.50, to 28. How do I want to put this? This just is not, I don't, now if you're new, okay, if you're new to low floats, you might be like, I've never seen anything like this. Remember, I used to be, okay, and here we go again, okay. I started out in 2006, 2007, actively learning day trading, going on 15 years. From 2006, 2007 to 2015, I was 90% a short seller. What started happening in 2015 is stuff like MRIN would happen like once or twice a week. This never used to happen, but particularly in the post-2016 world, and now in the post-2020 world, this is like once a week affair. Sometimes we get 2 of these a week. So I know it's insane, but the MRIN is why I flipped from 95% short selling into, up until 2015 to 95% long buys because of stuff like MRIN. Because it only takes one and you're all done. So that being said, dip and rips, VWAP holds, all our same patterns all day long. And we were all, if you remember, this was the stock, dip and rips and VWAP holds. You guys remember, this was the stock on Thursday, June 24th, when it was at, and I called this my number one watch. If you remember, and remember, I quit pre-market prep because I got all these comments about how lame MRIN was. Oh, Tim, again, that was my wedding anniversary, June 24th. This was the number one watch, and everyone was like, oh, these patterns don't work. Oh, these low floaters. So I got people saying I was trying to pump and dump MRIN on June 24th. That's why I quit. And then I'm a glutton for punishment. I come back. Meanwhile, the stock was $3 that day. Probably going to hit 30 today. So anyway, I'll move on. But that goes back to why was MRIN my number one watch on June 24th? This is why. ADXS, is that a red to green? Wow, no, dip and rip. Stock's up 40%. If this thing goes red on the day, it's dead. So understand, guys, understand the patterns. David, get the ebook maybe. I mean, how can this possibly be a red to green when it's up 50%? If this stock goes red on the day, it's deader than dead. So listen, and maybe your terminology is different than mine. That's cool. Okay. But, it's kind of like if you're on this live stream, let's use our terminology, etc. No offense, but CUE. So Deontay, I'm gonna jump back to CUEN. Deontay says held up all last week, squeezing this AM on light volume. Break of last week highs for squeeze in pre-market. Deontay's read I'll tell you what. I may be wrong. I would bet, well, we get like 10,000 people on here, so I'd bet each of you like 10 cents, okay? But I would bet each and every one of you on here 10 cents a piece that Deontay's read the ebook several times, and he's been here a ton. Well done, Deontay. 100% agree. CUEN could definitely be interesting today. And as always, my friends, have a great day. We got to a decent amount. Yeah, we got to 5 or 6 stocks. Not bad for 15 minutes. Again, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nicole. And have a great day. Check out the Steady Trade team. And new podcast will drop later today. And it's the greatest time in history. I've never seen a market like this. Nothing dies. I mean, again, CUEN is exactly what we look for. Just the stuff that hangs around, just like MRIN did, just like BLIN did, just like OCGN has hung around for like 6 months. So, all right, have a great day, my friends, and we will see y'all next time.